Hello there, and I kind of finally got what I wanted. I've been asking for this for a while, keep saying it in my videos. The Kazon, they're gotta be more complicated and more intelligent than we give them credit for. And finally, and of all shows, Star Trek Prodigy, which I'm so sorry, I'm gonna small tangent. I still haven't completely warmed to that show, and my god, I actually really liked it. Season 2, I really liked. I did. Season 1, I was, I don't like Dahl. I don't like him. He's arrogant. He doesn't seem to learn. Anyway, tangent. Trying not to go on that tangent. Promised myself I wouldn't. But seriously, the show's he's kind of irritating. Sorry. The overall show I actually really like, and season 2 was a huge improvement over season 1 in my opinion. I'd love to see a third season, sort of the whole hashtag Save Star Trek Prodigy, fully there with you. And most importantly, I got two things in this most recent season that I absolutely loved. One was the Terran Empire Revisited, which I've already done a video on. Hopefully I remember to link it. I probably haven't, but hopefully I have. And this one, the Kazon, one of the most underrated species in Star Trek, in my personal humble opinion. You're welcome to have a different one. And I've been saying for a while, there has to be more to them. They have to be more common. Now, we still don't see enough of it, but we see something. So, with that out of the way, we're going to discuss what we saw. And that is, right after you hit like, share, and subscribe, and maybe the bell notification icon if the will is taking you. With that said, let's get into it. Okay, so what we have is the setup. We got a disused Borg transwarp conduit, likely disused because of that pesky virus that future Admiral Janeway gave the Borg Collective. So they're not really in control of all of their faculties and facilities anymore, the Borg. So there's a discontinued transwarp conduit that apparently the Federation has been using, as we will find out. And a prototype, highly classified and kind of illegal Starfleet vessel called the Infinity decides, after being hijacked, they're going to use a transwarp conduit to get somewhere. While in the conduit, they're hit by a probe that seems to jump through the portal, the side of the conduit, embed itself in the ship, and then force it out. It then crash lands on a planet. And in 2384, they crash on this world run by the Kazon sect called the Oglamar. The Oglamar are actually one of the smaller Kazon sects. They're not one of the particularly big ones, but apparently they're pretty sophisticated. Now, to be clear, I will give the disclaimer. I always like the idea of the Kazon building new ships and things like that because I never think that they're that stupid. I think there's more to them. I think this place demonstrates that there is more to the Kazon. They're definitely building new ships. This place is definitely Kazon, but it is possible that this outpost was a Trabe outpost to begin with. It is possible. I don't actually think that's the case because this doesn't feel very Trabe. The aesthetic of the buildings and structures and ships, though, is very in keeping with those designs, which are of Trabe origin, not of Kazon origin, so it is possible. On this world, the Kazon Oglamar were using it as a pilot training facility to create the best pilots in the entire Kazon order to earn their Oglamar names. But it was run by a mad AI, and my god, what is wrong with AI in this universe, and why do people keep creating it? Data is a fluke, right? B4 is an idiot, Lore is evil, the M5, do I need to go on? Anyway, this AI decided it went rogue and started pitting the pilots against each other over and over again until none were left. Even once the best pilot emerged, it would start stealing ships out of the conduit and bringing them here. The Kazon Maj, who was running the planet, Ekthi, it's not clear if he's the first Maj, by the way, of the Kazon Oglamar. Maj seems to be a somewhat interchangeable term. There's a reference to being first Maj, which indicates you are the first amongst the Majes, right? That's how I interpret it. If this guy is first Maj of the Kazon Oglamar, he isn't first Maj anymore because he's been stuck on this planet and no one's come to rescue him. No one's wondered, where's our Maj? They've gone, our Maj is gone. All hail the new Maj. Or he's just the equivalent. Maj, in my understanding of it, is actually more like leader. But if you are first Maj, you are the first leader. He is more the Maj, like a captain or governor of this particular planet or outpost. Unfortunately, all the Kazon under him have been killed. And we at first think that there are a few Kazon here, but actually it turns out they're androids, or at least I want to assume they're androids, because the other option is that the rogue AI has taken the corpses of the dead Kazon, which actually is probably more likely, and cybernetically enhanced them to turn them into robotic slaves, similar to what it had done with the Maj, only in his case he was still alive, so it had basically put a device on his head that allowed it to remote control him and make him do what it wanted. And it was fulfilling its program. Its program was to make the best pilots. The problem is it had gone completely insane and didn't go, right, you're a great pilot now, here's your certificate, off you go. It was like, you're a great pilot now, let's find you more competition until someone beats you. And you literally just keep doing it until you're dead. And the Maj would basically say, oh, we captured your ship, but you can leave if you can, win the race. But he was lying. No one got to leave. Everyone just had to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they were dead. And they had these 4 rather cool looking Kazon shuttles, these sort of racing shuttles. It's not clear if these were space worthy or if they were purely in atmosphere. I would presume they were in keeping with the Kazon fighter or shuttle and were capable of space flight, because it's one thing to be able to maneuver through all those rings, yet, but you're still in an atmosphere. It'd be a good idea to actually train them in space as well. So these ships are probably spacefaring, but we never see them do it, so I don't know that conclusively. They're probably not armed, but maybe they were for target practice. It's not, again, particularly very clear. They were mostly 2-man ships, but they could be piloted by a single individual, and they were fairly cool. There were 4 different designs, so no 2 exactly the same, and yeah, they had their little flight. Eventually, they had to sort of fly through all these rings, but eventually they uncovered the problem that was going on in this world. They managed to free the Kazon from the control of the computer and disable the computer system, which he seemed to be very grateful for, and again demonstrating a bit more magnanimous nature to the Kazon. Yeah, it was very believable when they first arrived that this Kazon was like, yeah, I'm going to abduct you, we're going to sell, like they were afraid he'd sell them back into slavery, or he'd keep them as slaves there, or just kill them outright. But actually he was like, no, now you help me, you go. And he gives them a nice wave goodbye and everything at the end. He's actually happy, he's free again. And he's got to either contact the Kazon and be like, dudes, what the F, right? Like, why has no one been back here? Should also point out that this wasn't the first Federation ship. At least 2 others that were crashed on the planet, which have been sucked out of that transwarp conduit, most likely. One was an unknown Excelsior-class starship. The other one was the USS Cairo, another Excelsior-class vessel, first seen in the Next Generation. So we know this ship already. It was pre-established. It had survived the conflicts with the Maquis, it survived the conflict with the Dominion, only to be crashed on a planet by the Kazon, or rogue Kazon AI. Which, the fact that the Kazon were even able to make that AI, again, proves my point that there's maybe a little more to them, although it is also headcanon possible that they didn't make the AI. Either the Trabe did or somebody else did, and they either had it installed, bought it, or stole it, and couldn't control it, which is why it went rogue. That's also possible, but based on what we see of the outpost in the base and the technology, it looks like Kazon technology. Everything you encounter is Kazon. It's identified by the people who are captured as being Kazon. It's recognizably Kazon technology, which must by this point be diverging a little bit from Trabe technology. So, again, just headcanon, but it has to be. But that was the Kazon racing planet, where they train the finest pilots in the Kazon Order, and probably goes back to doing that, only without crazy AI assistance going forward. Hopefully he didn't get the inspiration to keep stealing ships out of the transwarp conduit either to facilitate that. But anyway, let me know what you thought of Star Trek Prodigy as a series in the comment section down below. Told you my opinion. I do like it, but it's probably not my favorite. But like, share, and subscribe if you made it all in the video. I thank you for watching, and bye-bye.